All right, Brian. Obviously, team got a couple of days off. What did you see today, training wise, vibes wise? How's the team doing?
A bunch of young men in a good mood, and a couple of old men in good moods too.
Obviously, winning gives good moods, but going back over the tape and in sense of continuing to improve the team, what did you see out of a game that you ended up winning, but maybe it wasn't the best performance?
We didn't just show the penalties. We did do some tactical work. The struggle and the challenge and the messaging today was how do we close out games, and how do we get out of the rut or the cycle of defending for extended periods of time, winning possession of the ball, different parts of the field, and then us establishing possession so we can rest with the ball.
What do you think?
There's a lot of relevance for this last series, because I think what happened is, you defend, give the ball away, you're tired. You defend, give the ball away, we're tired. Then your attacking movements slow down. It just didn't work. So those were the two main points.
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, well, I was going to say, as far as this break that you have, what did you learn maybe last year that you're going to apply now to make sure that you're on there?
So we totally brought that up. We were going to go back and watch the LAFC game at Lumen last year after the break and figure out if there was anything. We're going to go through our training notes. We're going to try and make sure that we leave no stone unturned, whoever our next opponent is, to make sure we're ready. We're actually sending a scout down to watch the game live, not just on film, but we're going to do whatever it takes, including going back to see what we can do better.
It's also with the actual time, though. Like, are you doing, you have some player off days, are you doing things
exactly
differently?
What the training is, when we give them time off, what is the routine to keep you sharp, when are we going to do our simulated scrimmage, all of those things, we're going to go over all of that.
What is the status, or how are your injured guys, Danny, Jordan, and Albert, coming on?
Well, Danny had a significant quad pull. He's probably done for the remainder of the year. Albert was out here jogging, but he's going to be on a down week just to see if he can get on top of it, a cortisone shot, all that sort of stuff, see if that hip calms down. And Jordan will be out here tomorrow.
Oh, so he's going to be training tomorrow?
Partial training.
Okay.
He'll be in more parts of training as he progresses next week for sure, but he'll be back out here.
And it sounds like you're pretty confident with their timeline lining up with.
That's because of the break.
Right. Do you have to give any directions to players? Obviously you have so much time between games. There's going to be a natural desire to be like, well, I'm going to go Vegas, or I'm going to take a few days off. Do you have to give directions to guys and say, like, this is not a break?
They know. They've been told. Their schedule is out there. They know.
Going back to the lack of awareness in terms of when to hold on the ball, when to pass it, when you defend. How much of that are you doing film, and then how much simulation?
I don't know if it was lack of awareness. I think it was lack of execution. I mean, we showed them on film, and then we did a possession game there where, you heard Preki barking at them to make sure they keep the ball. We'll do both. We'll train it, and they've seen it.
So you think they knew what to do, they just couldn't do it?
They couldn't execute. Yeah.
One of the things that I was curious that didn't seem to work initially was Christian at the 10. And I was wondering, what was it that made it that call and perhaps not Pedro or Danny Leyva in that position?
Philly. Remember that game?
Absolutely.
Did pretty good there. Didn't work against Houston, so we changed it up. And Obed was okay in there in the second half, beginning of the second half. Danny came out, did a good job. Pedro was okay on his wing spot, so those were just decisions we made.
And when you look at Pedro overall, you've had time to watch him every
90
day,
minutes.
90 minutes, all close to 90 minutes. Do you just like him more wide? And then what do you think about his overall performance? That game?
Good, getting better. He's getting better, sharper, right from the kickoff, second half. Dribbling out of trouble, but gives the ball away, does all the hard work, down on that right touchline by their bench, goes around 3 or 4 of their guys, has Alex and Paul, running down the field, transition moment, ball ends up out of play. Those are some of the things that happen, and he needs to get better at.
And this next round, I mean, do you need more people to be in the box at the appropriate time? You'll have 1 or 2, but do you need more?
Well, Alex almost scored in the first half. We had like 5 guys in the box.
Right. But there seems to be inconsistency in that, Coach. It's just
Maybe.
sometimes you do.
Maybe.
And I'm not being critical, but I mean,
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
looking
You
at the
can be
film.
critical. It's your job to be critical. I thought that we had numbers in the box at appropriate moments.
How do you keep that consistency going?
Every game is different. Every game is fluid. I mean, did we create enough goal-scoring chances when there was 11v11? No. No. But again, it comes back to that cycle, and they were at home, and they needed to win, and lots of things.
After coming off of the first leg, Pedro ended up playing close to 40 minutes more in the second leg. Did you see what you wanted to see from him in terms of, I know that his coming out early in the second one wasn't a complete reflection on his play, but I would imagine there were some things you wanted to see differently.
Well, I wanted to see some things differently. We sat down individually, he and I and Freddie. I saw those things, a lot of them. What we showed him on film shows he's a coachable kid. We're going to keep working with him. He's a vital part of our team.
Can you share a little bit about Danny Leyva and just his ability to kind of be able to contribute, like even the U.S. Open Cup match, off the bench? Can you share a little bit about
Love to talk about Danny. Look, he was really excited when he came on the field. He was kind of all over the place, but when we kind of got him in that left pocket where he should be, that's where the goal came from. So he's been improving. He's earned those minutes, and he's made an impact.
Is he the type of player to ask for a start or want to have
He
a
always
conversation
wants to start.
with
Yeah.
you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've had multiple. Danny's a great kid. Multiple conversations. Yes, he wants to start. What can I do to get in the lineup? All those things.
You can set out the penalty kicking drills, but can you talk about your players' commitment to that execution? And
Christian Roldan scored 3 goals.
Yeah, he did. Hat trick.
It's a hat trick. Natural has to. All in the second half.
Yeah, Brian.
Okay, so I'll answer the question.
Sure. And then I got one more for you. Look, Christian scored a great goal. Ended up, it wasn't his fault in that sequence, but it certainly wasn't a great goal to give up. And then he has enough. Hey, coach, I want to take. No, I'm taking it first. So, okay, sure, you're first. There you go. I was just gonna say, when I asked you post game, you said physically he didn't play well, mentally. I mean, what can you say about this team mentally? Because it seems like they're
Strong together.
Yeah.
It's a strong group mentally. They're all together. Trainings have been good. He said it in his post-game interview. Closest team he's been with.
Nuhu had a pretty solid performance in the round 1 games. Nice attempt on goal or near goal against Houston. Give your thoughts on how he's been doing with the team.
He's good. Look, his assist was good. I'm glad he picked that moment to go forward, but his vision to see Christian over here was good. But he always does good things. I mean, we don't know him for his assists or goals, but he contributes to the team in a lot of different ways.
Snyder and Stu were out here today.
Yep.
What did you see from them? How do you
They're
see them?
super talented. We'd love to have those kids out a lot more. We'll just see how this week goes. We've got some injuries, but Stu's a signed player, and Snyder, Sebastian, some of those kids, they'll be up with us.
Jackson Reagan's been stepping up in the penalty shootouts, been scoring those bangers when the team really needs it. What have the conversations been with Reagan stepping up among the first 5 penalty takers?
Well, I don't know if I had a conversation with him. I told him he was going to take one, and he said, okay, I will. That's not much of a conversation. But he's obviously a very good passer. He knows he can put the ball where he wants to, and that helps when you're 12 yards away.
How did this team become so close? Was there anything
It's a long season. If you remember back.
It's a long season.
Was there any one thing that happened, or it's just the maturation of your team and coming together?
They've always been good. It's been a good group since for a long time.
Brent, it's a good problem to have, but what is your take on the men out at that holding mid position between JP, Christian Roldan, and Obed Vargas? I mean, there's going to have to be a choice there for that duo in the middle.
Yeah, tough decisions.
When it comes to a guy like Leo Chu, who hasn't really been
I was
part
going
of
to
the
put him on the
18,
field. Talked to him afterwards. That was a tough one for me to not put him on the field after I told him he would go on. But I had a conversation with the young man. The reason why I was going to put him on the field because he's been training well.
Who are you sending down to scout the match? Can you share?
I don't want
Is
LAFC or
there?
Vancouver.
Oh, I don't.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
was saying, okay,
Freddie.
sorry.
Freddie.
Okay.
Freddie's
His credential. His name on the credential. Give it away.
Deny.
Oh, no, yeah, I
It's
isn't that? I didn't know that.
no,
Okay.
it's Freddie.
When a player, going back to the truth, he practiced well, and you wanted to get him in. How much does that play into the next game, or is it a whole
He
new
continues
week?
to train well. He trained well today. So that's all I can ask from those guys. Last couple.
Away from Seattle, I just wanted to get your take on Bruce Arena being named head coach and GM in San Jose. Your
it.
thoughts on that?
I love Bruce. Consistent technical ability under pressure. That's Bruce. That's Bruce Arena. He told me that. I never forgot that. Consistent technical ability under pressure. Highest levels.
I'll bite. Would you ever become a GM when you're done coaching?
I'm gonna go somewhere and get away from all you guys.
You still have to talk to them.
I'm just kidding.
That's fair.
No.
I would.
We'll have monthly Zoom calls, Coach.
No, I don't know, Moss.
Yeah.
I got a ways to go. Jim did a great job in Philly, but you know that's pro sports, so you gotta take good days with the bad days. So Bruce gone and another longtime manager fired, so it's tough business sometimes.
And now,
Lucky to be here.
and now Jim, obviously, I mean, he had just extended his contract. He also didn't get a lot of players coming in. I mean, that's a tough position for a coach to be in.
I wouldn't know about that.
For the rain.
Well, working closely with the people that are going to come in our building. I think it's great. I think the new ownership group going to invest time and money into it. It's funny that you mentioned that. I mean, obviously Laura was here for some other reasons, but she sat in our morning meetings. She and her staff are always welcome. Love back and forth, give and take, talking about soccer. Women's game is growing incredibly fast, and I think that's a great thing.
You've always talked about equality and helping. How important is that for you to end this club to help with the women's game? I mean, not help, but aid it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The resources it
Well,
deserves.
that's soccer in general, but women, kids, I've been involved in all of it. You know, I'm happy to watch Laura work. Might learn a few things.